Hi there, the unemployed prop guy here to talk about reference books and research books. Here's a small collection of some of the catalogs and reference books I use when I am doing research on an upcoming project. I'll go through the different categories and basically, I prefer actual physical books than the internet to start with, at least. The internet's great to do research on, but I like looking at the physical pictures of objects, and then I'll go on the internet and maybe do some follow up research to get more specifics on an object, or especially when I'm doing period pieces where I really want to be authentic with the prop that I am introducing into the scene. Okay, let's go through them. Okay, first let's talk about the McMaster-Carr Bible. This thing has pretty much everything you're going to ever need in life. There's just everything: switches, screws, um, cleaning supplies. I mean, the thing is amazing. I love it. And the neat thing McMaster-Carr is doing now, if you're doing 3D printing, um, you could actually download files of a lot of the screws and other parts, and you could print them out in prototype and then cast them in other materials, or just have that authentic feel. Or if you're making something in the real world out of metal that you're going to machine, the neat thing is you could prototype it in a plastic, make sure it all fits and works before you order them. There's a really great catalog. Like I said, you got to have one of these. Then there's other catalogs. Like I just pick up catalogs, toys, different toys for who knows why. Then we have the Sears catalog. This is a 1927 edition. It's reproduction, but it just has amazing pictures of what you could buy in 1927. Uh, Wardrobe loves these books too. Telephones. And when you're doing research on a project, the thing to remember is, so the film's going to be 1930s. Well, do you put objects that were in the 1930 catalog into your project? No. You want something a little bit earlier because people bought things and they kept them a lot longer back then. So it's really important to think about the life of the prop and how it got to the actor or to the scene. I used to have about 20 or 30 of these catalogs, 1960 through the 70s, and they came really in handy for me when I was doing my research. I do now, for the most part, look on the internet. There's some great websites for Sears catalogs throughout the time, because these things weigh 4 or 5 pounds, and having a stack of them was getting kind of ridiculous. So that's where I actually went to the internet. And then, there's just tons of different kind of catalogs. This one is Breakaways, for that actor that wants a milk bottle smashed against his head every show. Okay, let's talk about other things. Okay, these are more of my reference material books. I have to do a lot of projects where we use guns, and we always get into arguments about um, the period of gun, and I just pull out my illustrated firearms book, and it has almost every gun ever made in the U.S. especially, and I could say that this one was made in 1908, and the film is 1905, so we can't use that one. We have to use a 1903 Colt, and it's a really good argument stopper. And it's just also fun to look at these pictures if you like guns. So I also have on that venue a book about pipes. Why not? You want to be authentic. You want to, when an actor asks you how to hold the pipe, the history of the pipe, and so forth, having books like this is just awesome. Um, Or I just find books at Goodwill or at a used bookstore. This one's about barbecuing, and I could see the different props that they had in the 1950s, and it's just good to have lots of reference material. And there's something better about handing a director, handing a producer pictures that's in a book than a printed photograph. Sometimes it just seems like I just think it's more professional, in my opinion. I just pick up books that interest me, or when I used to design films, if we had a gas station, I would buy 4 or 5 books about gas stations, so I knew how to dress them. But in the prop world, you could find a lot of interesting things about, you know, this little card here. It's a ration card, and it's great to have little references to that. Or if the director wants some bizarre scene like this, and you have to make a prop sign, you have reference material. Books about diners. Because you always have a diner scene in a film, or even sometimes on plays, and you could just enjoy looking at the pictures and going, hey, these glasses will work perfectly for Bob Jr. or something. So, and then I, also have just books with fabric samples that, I use to reference when I'm making props sometimes if I want to, shroud them in a fabric or whatnot. So every chance I get, I just pick up stuff or felt, you get any kind of felt you want. You could touch it and feel it. It's just the tactileness of books. Marley floors, I don't want to talk about that right now. Maybe in a later video. Then I have a lot of books about decorating. This one's 1968. I always label my books. It always helps, so I could just pull it out, because I'm going to do a play about 1971. Well, let's see how somebody would have had a house decorated. And I can look and see, books that they're going to pick up, the silverware, the china, anything that is going to happen. Okay, yeah. Well, these are, like I said, just a small example of some of the reference materials that I pick up over my years. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will try to answer them. See you on the next video. Ciao.